Okay, so this isn't a video that's going to go into how to do a basic service on a Rockshox Reverb Stealth seat post. It's just a few pointers for any of you that feel confident enough to go into the post and service it yourself. My post developed, I think they're calling it squish, so a very small amount of downward play, like bounce, when you sit on it without operating the remote, and it also had a very slight amount of forwards and backwards play on the shaft itself. I took the post apart fairly easily. I didn't have a special clamp for my vise. Basically what I did was cleaned up the outer part of the post and cleaned up the seat tube and used the bike zone binder bolt clamp, and that enabled me to put my span on here and undo this. So that was one little tip really. The other thing that seems to be fairly mysterious is this wonderful IFP setting tool. As you can see, there is. I'm using my phone, so it's probably rubbish. This was about £6.50, but it does say on the SRAM technical website the actual measurement for the IFP to be pushed down with the Stealth, and it's actually, you maybe see it there, it's 30mm on the Stealth, and then interestingly it's 100mm down for the 100mm dropper post, and it's 125mm down for the 125mm dropper post. But as I said, it says there for the Stealth they're all 30mm. So a couple of other things again. If you go on the SRAM website, it shows you, I think it's quite comprehensive, the instructions on how to do the basic, well, it's actually a full service, but SRAM, to their credit, they do put everything in the basic service kit that pretty much covers the things that are most likely to be causing maybe some squish and some backwards and forwards movement. So the main culprit for the backwards and forwards movement is not so much the bushing in the top cap, but it's this bushing here that sits in the inner seal head. So as you can perhaps see there, it's got like an outer Teflon coating on it, and it obviously gets deformed, and that's what was giving my little bit of play. So these are the packs that come in the basic seal head, the seal kit, which I think is about £10. So this one, I presume, is for some different, but it says new black seal head only, which mine hasn't got. Now I'm not worried about this because I think this is a general service kit for all of the dropper posts, not just the Stealth. So these three bits I replaced, and interestingly this seal here, which I think is the one that causes the air to come past, that causes the squish, you can't see it, but it was quite badly damaged, and I don't know whether that had been damaged when it put together or not enough grease had been put on it. These two here I couldn't find a home for anywhere, and I was very meticulous and, you know, taking an O-ring off and putting another one back on. This was the foam wiper ring and the O-ring for the dust seal cap, for the top cap, and then this was the lower seal head. So obviously you've got the snap ring there, the felt washer, two O-rings. Again, I couldn't find a home anywhere for those two small O-rings, so you know, I'm not particularly worried about that. So if you look on the Stealth, the SRAM Stealth full service instructions, it basically shows that once you push that IFP collar down, you then fill it up with fluid, and then you have to draw a certain amount of fluid out, which you're supposed to have a proper oil level gauge for. Well, basically all I've done is I've got some, I think it's a 6mm plastic tubing that actually I bought with a cheap £2.50, here it is, look, a cheap £2.50 syringe, but that actually fits perfectly on the end of a standard Rockshox bleed syringe. And then all I've done, just to get my measure, because again on that on their service instructions, it shows you a measurement of how deep this pipe should go to take out the right amount of fluid, and it's actually for the reverb. I think it's 150 mil. It doesn't matter. It's on there anyway. It's 100. That's set to 111 mil. So all I've done here is got a bit of, look at that Hope. Yes. This is a bit of old Hope brake hose, which I've basically put this cable tie round at 111 mil, and I've just connected it to that. And obviously you drop that down and just suck out the right amount. So it's pretty simple, and again, this is not some specialist bit of kit. So I think that's about it. You don't need a lot. I say these seals here were £10. That was only about £6, but again, it does say on that website that for the Stealth it's 30 mil, but again, for the 100 mil travel it's 100 mil, and for the 125 mil travel it's 125 mil. And this was the only other sort of specialist bit of kit, but I've obviously managed to make that up. So yeah, you know, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of how I did it all, but it is, if you're mechanically minded enough to attempt it, then it's relatively straightforward. And I'm pleased to say that that's got rid of all my squish, and it's also got rid of all my backward and forward play on the post itself. So I shall attempt to do it one-handed, but if I push that down, and now it's working perfectly. So this may be of benefit to someone. I hope it is. Thank you.